I'm Linnea.
I'm Amy.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Buzz. Can't keep my cap on, but I'm Buzz. Welcome to LDS Singles Anonymous.
Okay, yeah, get that cat back
Intro
on.
music.
Okay. So, I thought we'd do a fun one today.
We went down a little bit of an internet rabbit hole.
As one does.
As one does.
We found some very interesting dating terms, many of which we have never heard before.
I'm sure you've heard some of them. I feel like
Yeah.
ghosting is a pretty general term that everyone seems to
people heard
know.
that
It's
one.
more common.
Okay, what is ghosting?
Yeah, what is ghosting?
So that's what we're gonna ask you. What do you guys think
We
it
thought
is?
it'd be fun to ask
terms.
them. We ask
You
the
guys get
men.
Oh no, you're going to ask us what the term
Yeah,
is?
Yes.
they're quizzing us.
Yeah,
So
great.
we have not looked up any of these. So
came prepared.
Linnea and Amy did this as their side project. And so, okay, so are we starting with ghosting?
Let's start with
Let's do
ghosting,
ghosting.
and we can throw in other ideas too.
Okay, so ghosting is one that everybody knows, but that's where you essentially just stop communication without any warning, and sometimes it can be gradual or sometimes it can be sudden, but eventually one person stops responding or both people stop responding. So there can be mutual ghosting, right? That is not ghosting on mutual. That is where people mutually ghost each other.
Together.
Though there is ghosting on mutual as well.
There is
a lot of ghosting.
Also,
on
that there's soft ghosting, where you just kind of peter out.
That was another
just
term.
like slowly,
Yeah.
yes, or you slowly.
Or you just like
fade
the
out.
comment instead of responding to it.
Oh, okay.
You know? Slow ghosting.
Left on red.
Left on red. I saw it. I didn't want to respond. Yeah, good job. I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty good.
That's a pretty
Anything
good
you wanted to add
definition,
to
yeah.
ghosting?
We're
Buzz?
satisfied with that
I think it was
definition.
pretty good.
Okay. Are we going to get in? Are we going to do more of these, or do we want to talk more about ghosting? Because we can make a whole episode on that.
We could make a whole episode on that.
could.
I think ghosting. I think another thing that we wanted to. I guess before we get into this.
Yes.
Something
we got
that
excited.
we wanted to talk about, why we wanted to talk about these terms, is that these are things that you could come across, either someone doing it to you, or maybe you're doing this to someone else without even knowing it. And so we wanted to make sure that you were aware of these types of interactions, these types of situations, so that you can both consent to it, like if you're okay with being ghosted or some of these
Benched.
other terms. Benched, that's the next one we're coming to. There are a lot of terms here. So that you are aware of them and you can decide if you are okay with them or if you want them to change or if you notice that you're
need to
doing it.
change. Maybe you just weren't aware that you were doing it.
Yeah. So
So if you're communicating, and all of a sudden you just go, I'm done, and you never answer a text back, you've just ghosted someone.
yep.
Now we know.
Now
we know.
And
Well,
knowing is half
so you
the
guys,
battle.
you guys just brought up benched.
Yes,
Okay,
benched is the
let-
next one.
okay,
what is
let's-
benching?
So, from a sports perspective, benching someone means taking them out of the field of play and putting them on the bench. So, my guess is that when you're talking to multiple people and you start to focus more on some, like you know, there's someone in particular amongst your field that you're talking to. If you know you've kind of, I don't know if ruled out is the right word or the right phrase, but someone, if you're benching someone, that means they're kind of out of the rotation of the people you're going out with or talking to. Is that correct? I have no idea.
Interesting. Buzz, what is your
So-
thoughts on it? We'll come up after.
Here's what I think benching would be. I'm dating a
Not
girl.
benching.
Yeah. So I'm dating a girl. She's okay. Not the greatest, but she's okay. She's got some nice
Nice.
things.
Something.
Yes.
She's
Obviously,
nice.
There are nice things about her.
She's nice.
There are,
She's
there
a
are
nice
lovely
person.
things about her. Is she the perfect? Maybe not. Here comes somebody that's a little better. I don't want to throw this one away, so I'm just going to put her on the bench and then see if this one works out. And if she doesn't work out, well, I'm bringing her back off the bench. Like, I can't say no. I just kind of want to keep her in reserve, like a pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you over there. I might need a closer for the end of the game, so I'm not going to trade you to another team. I need you on the bench because you're going to need to come in if this one doesn't
So
work
they're
out.
in the rotation, but they're not on the field right now.
Right. Because,
Okay.
oh, well, they were on the field. Now they're not because this one's better.
Right.
Yeah.
But
you got your star athlete. You got your star
and
player
then
here.
The star athlete goes, "You're nothing. Bye." Oh, quick, get them off the bench. because
Quits and joins another team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I need
Going with the sports analogies
I need
here.
them back on the field to
Yeah.
play because I gotta have somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I think benching would be.
Good.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
pretty,
that's pretty close. Yeah, I think I used to call it back burnering.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the dish, like you put the rice on the back burner to simmer for a while you work on the main dish.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
But
the
it's
idea-
it's there
It's
just in
there.
case you need
Still
it.
And like
there.
you're keeping
You're keeping an eye on it.
something.
they're still on the team.
Yeah.
You're still sending them messages.
Right.
You
Yeah.
ask them out every so often just to keep them. It's like they're on the.
What you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So that
How's it
would be
going?
benching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
and I
mine.
think this one, breadcrumbing, kind of
I think okay.
Ties into that. So what's
Yeah.
breadcrumbing?
What do you think it is?
So Hansel and Gretel, breadcrumbs, right? Just laying breadcrumbs for people to follow. So I think it's similar to that benching or that backburnering in the sense that you message just enough to keep them interested and engaged, and not totally off the radar and ghosted. Because ghosting implies that it's gone, right?
Yeah.
It's dead, rip. But breadcrumbing, yeah, you leave enough every couple of days, just to keep them interested, so that you have a backup plan.
Exactly.
Is anything to add to that, Buzz? Or
No,
did cover
I
it?
think that's dead on.
Okay. Is that what it is? Because I have no idea. I've never heard of this term, but that's my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Basi-
think you essentially, like the person on the bench, you feed them breadcrumbs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought they kind of go together.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna feed you breadcrumbs, but I'm gonna make you a 4-course meal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say definitely. Good job. Good job. Let's go
This
with
one's fun.
this one is fun. Okay, just
Just
go.
what do you think zombieing means?
Zombieing is the opposite of, well, it's what happens after ghosting when someone's been ghosted for a long time and you are trying to revive that dead communication. That's
I think it's one of two ways. Either the person wants to bring the ghost back, or the ghost went out, realized the grass wasn't greener, and they're just like, I'm watching your posts. I'm not maybe commenting on them like I used to, but I'm kind of just haunting you in a way where I kind of might be a ghost, but I'm a ghost that's kind of participating in a creepy way.
okay.
I don't know.
There's another word for
There's
that.
actually another word. That's
We
actually
did
slightly
that one,
different.
actually.
Oh,
It's kind of right there.
okay.
It's kind of right there. We do
We'll get
have
to
that
that.
one.
Okay.
We
We'll
will.
get to
So
that one.
keep that one in mind
So
because
what,
that's not
what is zombieing then?
Not as yes. So zombieing basically is it's post ghosting.
Yeah.
So basically the idea is someone has ghosted you, they've stopped talking to you completely, and then all of a sudden, days, weeks, months later, they pop
Years.
up again, years later, they say, "Oh hey, what's up?" And they act as if they never disappeared. They have the same relationship, they don't recognize that they've been gone for months, they don't apologize for disappearing,
Yeah.
they just come up and pretend everything is normal and the same. So
right.
that is zombieing. They bring up the same relationship without even recognizing that it was dead.
That is really not even seeing the world when you're staring at it. You have to be pretty out of it
Yeah.
to pull that one off.
To pull that one, yeah.
I feel like that goes into manipulative behavior of like, oh wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I wasn't
But
gone.
it's okay
I
if
wasn't
I don't
gone.
talk to you for
Which-
2 months
Yeah,
and I
like-
come
Which
back
is kind of the
tomorrow.
point of discussing all of these, right?
Yeah.
Is recognizing these manipulative
There's a lot of
behaviors.
manipulation in this.
Yeah.
All right.
Some of it worse than others.
Yeah.
Okay. That one actually kind of ties into gaslighting, which I
Yeah.
think is another term that is pretty pervasive and maybe we don't understand as well. So what do you think about gaslighting?
Well, it comes from that old movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where she's fooled into, where like she thinks the light's on, or she sees the light is on, but she's being told by her husband or whoever that it is not. Is that the context of the movie?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Something like that.
Something along those
1930s
lines. I'm
movie, I think.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the
I think it's
origin.
like
but
black and white.
essentially
Yeah.
causing someone to doubt themselves, right? And doubt their perception of reality.
Yeah.
And saying that someone else is wrong. And yes, that's, I think, what gaslighting is. I don't know.
Anything
Maybe you
to
could
add?
gaslight me into not knowing what gaslighting is. So
That's really the whole purpose of this episode. We're gaslighting.
Gaslighting us into.
Making you think that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need you to think that I'm crazy. I don't need you for me to think that I'm crazy.
See, and that's the
do
thing.
that
I
on
think
my
that's
own.
what's scary.
Exactly.
Maybe this
We're
is
not gaslighting you. We
Maybe
promise.
we think that men do it more to women because, or are we just? They think is it easier for us to do it?
I don't
Take
even
more
know.
effort? I don't know.
I don't know. I
Who
think
knows the differences?
sometimes. I don't know. That's a whole other
I feel like we
conversation.
can cut
maybe.
that out.
Okay, no, but let's
But-
get to an actual definition of what gaslighting
But
is.
gaslighting,
Yes.
yeah, no, that's the
Yeah.
idea. It's making someone doubt their own reality by either manipulation, force, or just telling them straight up that they
Yeah.
are wrong. Like the light is on. No, the light is off. That is
Yeah.
not the light being
Like
on.
when something happens and you're like, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
And I think, like,
Or that's not the way it happened.
that's not-
That's not the
how
way
it
it
It's
happens.
like this terrible thing happened to me. It's like no, that was like that wasn't bad or
I
whatever.
saw you looking at me like you were super interested. No, I didn't. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Or even beyond that,
No.
you asked me on a date. You were the one who told me you liked me.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't ask you
I didn't do
out.
that.
Yeah.
I just said we should get lunch. Whoa. Okay, so that's gaslighting. It's telling you that you are wrong in
And then
your
often
perception.
making them feel guilty for what they did.
Exactly.
Like you pressured me into this.
Yeah,
This was your idea.
yeah, that also. So that's gaslighting.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so catfishing going on.
So catfishing, that is when someone has created a fake online dating profile and attempts to communicate with other people, to fool other people into thinking that they're like talking to someone who's interested in them. Sometimes this is a twisted form of entertainment. Other times, this can lead to financial fraud or scams or other things like that. But the idea is that you're just talking to someone who doesn't actually exist. The biggest example that I can think of right now off the top of my head was the Manti Te'o story. If you guys remember that, it was college football. I don't remember the details, but there was a football player who apparently was talking to this woman, but it was a catfish account. But then there was this whole story about how she died and everything like that, and so made it a big deal, but it came out that she wasn't actually real. So,
Interesting.
like, it was like all over ESPN and stuff like that. And now they've actually made, I think they made a Netflix special about it, Manti Te'o story. So, yeah.
There's a guy called Catfishing. They made a show on it. Anyway, anything to add?
I can't think of a single good thing that could ever come from it.
Yeah.
No, like I said,
There's one good thing actually. I've got a good story. It's kind of creepy. Maybe this is too negative. You have predators who go after young girls. FBI agents pose catfish as young girls to catch them. So some good things can happen. Not in dating. Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do
A
it.
bad thing and using it to catch the people who do the bad thing.
So let's talk about that's good, right? That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. How about kitten fishing?
Yeah.
Similar.
No idea.
I have no
You
idea.
have to guess. Come on. That's the whole point of this episode.
Kitten, cat.
Is this kind of like the sick and twisted way where, like, again, it's where, like, the only thing I can think of is with, like, you scale cat to kitten, so, like, I can't imagine
No,
this goes
it's
well.
children. No.
Okay,
No,
good.
no.
All right.
It's less nefarious.
It's far less nefarious than
Yeah.
what we think.
Okay.
Because the only thing I could think of is a female making a profile as a male to see what other females are out there and how they would interact. You know,
Oh, to learn techniques,
if you were
maybe.
I
well,
think
just
we
to
came
learn
up
what
with a new
other.
term.
I know,
That's
right?
what a name.
We'll have to come up with a
Okay,
name for this.
so enlighten me then, because I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a kitten fish. I know what a catfish is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So catfishing is like a whole different person, right? Whereas kitten fishing is like I'm a couple inches taller than I am, or using a photo that's a little bit older. So it's
Come
like
on. That's called online dating, aka lying.
Well, now you have an official term for it.
Yeah, now we have a
Kitten
name.
fishing.
Kitten fishing.
It's just little fibs
I have to
versus
tell people
full on
I'm a little
lies.
bit shorter than
Versus like a non-existent person.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
It is just a
Or it's like saying
Or
misrepresentation
like
of
not
yourself.
even a photo of yourself, just a total photo of someone else would be catfishing.
Right.
Kitten fishing is like, it's a photo of me, but like when I was 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
even like when I was 15 years or like
Or,
younger.
15 years
like,
younger.
It's,
15 years younger.
it's been 15 years. I look like a
Okay.
different person.
But technically that was me.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
was.
me,
It
so
was
I'm still
me.
telling the truth.
I think
That's kitten fishing.
That's what we in the industry call online dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I know.
common.
I know.
If you think
It is.
if you think they're going to look like their
I just like
picture,
the name.
you're wrong. Never mind.
Well, I mean, that's
Next.
the thing to be aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every guy is 5'8".
At least-
Every guy is 5'10" on Mutual, right?
Uh-huh.
I have to lie. I have
Yes.
to lie and
Oh,
tell
apparently.
them, oh no, I'm only 6'2" or 6'3".
Apparently, how you know a guy is lying is he says he's 5'11", because any guy who is 5'11" says he's 6 foot. So if he says 5'11", he's not 5'11".
Once again, kitten fishing. We've learned the technique.
I'm not even going to say how tall
No,
I
it's
am.
good.
So.
It's good. Don't worry about it. Okay, next term. This one I thought was interesting. Cushioning.
Yes. Actually.
Is that making a soft landing for the inevitable rejection, where you are trying to, kind of the whole like 1 negative and 3 positives, like I'm breaking up with you, or I don't want to keep going. You're a really nice guy, all this stuff. Are you trying to cushion the blow?
Compliment
Is that what it is? Compliment
It's
sandwich,
not, but
exactly.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I actually like it better
Oh, wow.
than the actual definition.
Okay.
Wow, I would have gone 100%. That's what cushioning was.
Okay. All right. So what is
would've
cushioning?
But
My final answer.
I think it's kind of similar to the whole benching thing. It's like you keep them you keep them waiting on the couch, I guess, is maybe a good
Well,
analogy.
not even that. More like you are cushioning, you're hedging your bets almost.
Yeah.
So the idea is really like if you're in a relationship with someone and you are keeping other people.
Oh yeah, I think
Oh.
You've actually committed.
It's
Yeah,
like
the
I'm
benching
with
is.
cushioning is like I'm in a relationship. Not just benching is like I'm pursuing this other option, but I'll keep you around just in case. Cushioning is I'm in a relationship, but just in case it doesn't work
I'm
out.
keeping these people.
I have some other people that I text and
Regularly,
It's not romantic.
Yeah.
But like I'm just keeping them around, keeping that friendly,
Just in case.
Yep.
he dumps me tomorrow.
So that's cushioning.
I guess
That's-
it's almost like cushioning your own fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
if this fails, I got something else.
All right.
Yep. So
That-
that's more something you need to be aware of in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or see if they've got it going on their side too, right? And I think it's finding that balance between trust, right? That
Yeah.
they're as well as that's like not okay behavior if
Healthy
you're.
dose of suspicion.
I feel like that one's
Suspicion.
trickier because so much of it comes down to motivation. Because they might just be
Friendly.
having friendly, generic friendly conversations, but mentally they're keeping them around just in case it doesn't work out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Next. How about groundhogging?
Yes, I like this one.
Groundhogging.
Okay. Because we just talked about it. This is the only one we talked about before the show, and I can't remember what it is. Okay. I do remember what it is. Buzz, do you?
I would say, hey, I'm here, and kind of go away. And then I'm here, and go away. And then I'm here,
That's what I would have thought of, actually.
So, like,
Yeah.
every month or every couple weeks, you kind of poke in, I'm still here, and then you kind of go away for a while. So it'd be like ghosting and coming back. That's what I would think, because don't
like this
groundhogs kind
definition
of stick
better.
their head out and then they're gone? And
Yeah, that's what I would have
I've
thought
seen the
as
movie
well.
That's-
Caddyshack.
Yeah, okay. Like,
So, well, I think this is supposed to be a play on Groundhog Day, right? Where the same thing
Yes.
happens over and over.
Yeah.
And so is groundhogging where you date the same kind of person over and over?
or even
and-
the same person.
Or even the same person over and over. And so you're not learning your lesson and you're just falling into those same things.
The same trap.
The same traps.
But you expect a different result.
Right.
Yep.
Right. The definition of insanity.
Basically.
This other guy is pretty much just like the guy I dated, but
Yeah.
I'll date him because I'm sure he's going to be different.
Yeah.
I really like this bad boy, but then they treat me like they're a bad boy. So I'll go find another bad boy because.
So they're throwing
I'm
up all
gonna
the same
save
red
him.
flags and you're
Yeah,
expecting
you're
something
You're just
different.
not learning from the experience. And I think the idea is that why we wanted to bring this one up is that if you keep ending up in toxic relationships, that might be a good time to note that you keep putting yourself in this and you never get a different result, then maybe you need to take a look
Self-analyze.
at how you're living your life and
Right,
see.
and this is not to, and this is definitely not to victim blame, right?
No.
because
Not
No,
I mean,
never.
the people who are doing these terrible things to you should stop doing them.
Yes,
They are the ones
100%.
responsible for the situation. But for a victim who is in this situation, you can get help. And
Yes.
it's not your fault.
Not your fault.
no. So,
All right.
all right.
Which one do you want to do? Let's do orbiting.
Yes. I feel like we touched on it maybe a little.
Orbiting, is that where you've been benched, but you are trying to stay in that orbit and be available just in case? Yeah, you don't want to be too far outside of someone's gravitational pull. You want to stay in the vicinity on the outside. Or like if someone is in a relationship, but you're kind of just hanging out to almost swoop in if that doesn't work to pick up the pieces.
That would be
or whatever.
It's not the official definition,
No.
but I like that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I feel like sometimes you guys go up with.
I know, like, this is
that
great.
makes more sense. Go ahead.
I would think it's almost a light form of cyber stalking, where you find an interest in somebody, and so you watch their posts, and you might like one, and you kind of watch what they're doing, where they're going, and you're pretty much trying to do reconnaissance on them to figure out what it is they like, what it is, where they go, what they do.
That's called stalking.
Well, yeah.
Yes,
that is
That's
stalking.
true. It's like, yeah, orbiting
That's what I would
stalking.
Slash
think.
stalking.
Slash stalking.
Kind of.
That's similar.
Light
No, that's true.
stalking.
But it's yeah, I think it's a light stalking.
Well, it's similar. I think the difference though between stalking and orbiting.
Yeah.
Orbiting, they said, according to the internet, they say it's basically it kind of comes again maybe after ghosting or after a breakup or after the end of something. That person still likes comments, still watches your videos, still ends up at the same table with you, and it seems like they're still there. And this is maybe something to be more aware of for yourself. Like maybe you think, oh, like I could say he broke up with me, he doesn't want to date me anymore, but he likes my picture. Oh my gosh, so maybe he's still interested in me. So he's orbiting around me, and I have that idea that I think maybe he'll come back to me.
But he's just orbiting.
He's just orbiting
you're
'cause
in
he's-
the same.
Yeah, sphere. Or he's bored on the toilet swiping through and he likes your picture. Like there's no real
There
Guilty
was no
charge.
intention behind them liking it.
Exactly.
They were just like, oh, I know her. I like her. There we go. She seems happy.
Yep.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the official one, but I like yours. Okay, next term. Love bombing.
Love bombing. So, love bombing is excessive and grand gestures of affection early on in a relationship to prove your commitment.
Or maybe not to prove your commitment, but to win the attention. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look, he's just like the guy in the Hallmark movie because he filled my whole house with roses. Oh, he's the one. Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Is that it? Where
Yeah.
you just pepper them with everything right
Pepper
up
them
front?
with all yes. And I think we want to make a distinction between
Yeah.
showing sufficient interest in someone, and perhaps the way you do that is through gifts or grand gestures. But the intention behind it is what changes it from just being a generally attentive person to love bombing.
Yeah.
And so love bombing, I think, has this more malicious intention behind it because you're doing it to get the person to like you.
Yes.
Right.
And not necessarily, like, that's a good thing.
There-
You want them to like you.
Yeah.
But then after that, maybe the attention stops.
Well, yeah.
Well, so there's reciprocity kind of
Yeah.
expected with the love bombing. That is like, oh, if I do this, then he or she will love me back.
Well, it's kind of with love bombing, with the negative version of this, that's love bombing, is that I show you all this affection, right? And then I might start closing you off from other people in your life. So I am now like your main source of love and affection. And so I feel really good about it's a narcissistic thing to do. Now I'm the main person, and if you are around other people, right, that you're not showing me the love and affection I deserve because I give you so much, right? And then oftentimes you can then withdraw that affection, not just because maybe you've lost interest, but because you're using that as a manipulative tool to be like, oh, well, you were talking to that guy I told you not to talk to, and so now all of my love and affection it's conditional.
Yeah, I could see where this could run into, a start with a love bombing episode could turn into these things. For me, what's the difference between love bombing and just affection? Is it going to continue on that level? If you're going to go buy a bunch of flowers and you're going to buy balloons and you're going to do you plan on keeping that up for years? If you're not, you're probably wrong.
Maybe it's not
you're probably love bombing to a degree that's not good. So if you're going to show affection to somebody and you're going to show and you want to say, hey, I really like you, or, your first date and she said yes, and okay, so I want to make it special. Make sure that's a level you can continue for a long time. Because if you can't, don't go crazy and don't buy 20 dozen roses.
And I think it's also a level with which the other person is comfortable with, right? So, I mean, how often do we hear just like, it's like they did this really big, nice thing, but I wasn't comfortable with that. Because
it came on too strong.
Because then because then it almost feels like you owe the person who did that, right? And again, it's a manipulative thing where, the intent of it is to win someone over or to gain their affection, gain their trust, gain their just trying to win them over. Don't know where else I was going with that, but
That's good.
Yeah. But I think that the love and affection is transactional. It's like, I did all these things for you, now you owe me.
Yes.
Or it gets into the point where, say I was love bombed and then suddenly the love bombing stops and I remember the good times when he was love bombing me, so I stay in this toxic relationship because he can be good. I can remember when he was good to me. And so that could be something that you need to be aware of as well. Yeah. Just because they are super great and affectionate in the beginning, if that cuts off, it's not necessarily right away end it, but it needs to be something that you're aware of. And it's not a manipulation tactic to get you to stay like, oh, I'm going to love bomb you and then I'm going to step away and I'm going to be terrible and you're going to hate me and you're going to try to leave me and then I'm going to love bomb you again until you stay and then I'm going to back off. So like there's
That's an abuse cycle.
That's an abuse cycle.
Yeah.
Be aware.
This is just another term. But I think there's a difference between this abusive cycle that love bombing can become versus like maybe you were super into someone and you talked to them every day and maybe you did some grand gestures, then they're like, oh,
left flowers on their
and then
doorstep.
I did a little too much, but maybe you can like talk about that, like, hey, and you can see like I think I can sometimes tell I'm like, you're just really excited about this relationship and you're very into a person, and that's one thing. And if it cools down afterwards, it's not necessarily like, it's just like I know I did too much, but it's just because I like you. And I think that, it's when it becomes manipulative and transactional that we start having problems.
Yeah.
Fun dating terms. You guys did really well, actually.
Yeah.
Well done. Came up with some new ones that I think I like better than the internet.
Yeah, but
If you have any other dating terms that you've heard or you want us to talk about or anything, comment below, let us know, and we can continue this conversation. Thanks for watching. This is LDS Singles Anonymous.